No, they're done.
Oh.
Interesting. Good evening. I now call to order the November 10th, 2025 meeting of the East Penn School District Board of School Directors. You know, all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, our first item tonight, I think we have one half of our SGA team here tonight, Ms. Cocaid.
Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be back this week to discuss recent events at the high school. Starting with clubs and activities. Senior portraits for the class of 2026 need to be taken before December 4th. In-school sessions were offered today through Wesley Works and will be offered November 18th, but students must schedule sessions. College visits are offered for juniors and seniors through the counseling office. Recent visits include Moravian University and the University of Alabama on November 6th and Penn State University on November 7th. Some upcoming visits include King's College and Penn, West California on November 11th. Interact Club just wrapped up their annual food drive on November 7th. The National Honor Society will induct their new members on November 12th this Wednesday at 7 p.m. All clubs from Emmaus High School will be taking their photo for the yearbook throughout the day on November 11th. The theater department has just wrapped up the school play this year, The Diary of Anne Frank. Showings were from last Thursday to Saturday. The math team came in 4th out of 32 teams in the math competition, and Thomas Amder came in 4th out of all 128 kids. Along with clubs and organizations, we have our fall sports. Congratulations to the EHS football team for concluding their season last Friday. Girls field hockey are competing in state semifinals tomorrow, November 11th. Boys and girls cross country both strongly competed at states. Runner Maddie McCartney had an amazing performance and won the first PIAA cross-country championship in Emmaus High School history. Girls volleyball made it to the state quarterfinals but lost, unfortunately. Congratulations to all the athletes that competed in the postseason and good luck to all of those continuing in the playoffs. And finally, we have SGA. SGA just acquired 6 new freshmen after an application and interview process. They are now preparing for holiday events and upcoming donations. SGA has also established a new homeroom representative program. One student from each homeroom will meet with SGA reps once a marking period and discuss their ideas for the school. That is all. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for that report. Any comments or questions from the board? Oh, Ms. Ford.
I was just going to say, the idea of having the representatives in the classrooms, in the homerooms, that sounds really genius. So congratulations.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Klotz?
Just a quick comment about the play.
Oh, sure.
So I saw the play on this Friday, actually, and it was incredible, as we've come to expect, but it was also powerful and moving and extremely well done. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Klotz. Any other comments? Mr. Flagey?
Yeah, as an outgoing board member, I would just like to thank EHS Student Government Association for always representing here. It's always a pleasure to have you here and hear what's going on within our district. So for that, I thank you.
Okay, very nice. Any other comments? All right, well, we appreciate your report. As always, you're invited to stay for the rest of the meeting, but if you have other endeavors this evening, you may be excused. Okay, our next item on the agenda are requests to comment at the board meeting. We have 2 this evening, but I'm going to first read this statement. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with public comment, speakers should feel free to express their opinion, comment, or question, and understand that this is not an interactive engagement with the board or with the administration. Please direct your correspondence to the chair. Be respectful, not engage in profane rhetoric, not disclose confidential and personal information regarding staff or students, or comments on matters in violation of the law or board policy. And be mindful that others, including students, may be listening. I would request that you consider that protocol when making your comments. For the members of the audience, please also be respectful and refrain from speaking during the public comment period. With that, I will now announce each speaker and their topic. When you step up to the podium, again, state your name, and you will have 3 minutes within which to speak, and I will provide a 30-second warning for when your time is up. Okay, our first request this evening is from Heather Harlan on farewell to Elisa Bowman. Thank you.
Hi, school board. Thank you all for everything that you do for the students and families in our community. So I want to thank all of you. And I also want to thank Mr. Smith, Mr. Falegi, and Ms. Bowman for your service on the school board. I especially want to give a shout out to Ms. Bowman because through the years, I have admired so much about you. I heard your voice before I saw you when I heard you on an NPR show back in the day when you wrote a book about marriage. And I was driving over South 4th Street over the mountain, and I thought, who is this woman? I need to meet her. Well, and here we are. And so just want to lift up the fact that you are an incredible listener. You are not afraid to change your mind when you are given new evidence, which is definitely something we need to do more of. You are also very curious. I've learned a lot by not only watching you thoughtfully ask questions, but also how you ask questions. And I think that has been key to your work on the board is that you always aren't afraid to ask questions and learn more. So thank you for your service, and thank you, everyone, for everything you do.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Harlan. Our second request this evening is from Ziad Munson on outgoing board members.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak. I wanted to thank all of you for all the hard work that you do for members of the community and, of course, the kids in this school district. And I especially wanted to thank Mike, Adam, and Elisa, the outgoing board members. I know only too well that it's a thankless job, and like everyone else on the board, I know that you've worked hard and done your level best to do what's best for this community, and I appreciate that. I also wanted to, I'm going to break Dr. Levinson's rule that he just said about revealing private information because I wanted to share how I met Elisa, which was before any involvement with the board. Our sons are the same age, and they played on the same youth soccer team, and we had a soccer coach who, I think the most charitable thing you can say about him was that he was challenging. And Elisa was by far the most diplomatic of the parents that was involved in that. And I learned a lot from that experience. But more than that, over the last 8 years, I've seen the same things that Heather had just mentioned. And so I wanted to give a special shout out to you, Elisa, and all the years and hard work that you've put in. I mean, number one, I think you have been especially good at raising concerns of voices that aren't always heard, and even sometimes voices that think of themselves as not being heard, even if they are, and you do it with grace and dignity for everyone. And then also the thing that is exactly echoes what Heather said was your ability to listen to others seriously and take in what you hear and adjust your view of the world based on everyone else. And the input that they give and the information that they have. I think it has really been a credit to this board and the district. So thank you, Elisa. Thanks, Adam and Mike, and thanks to all of you for being on the board.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Munson. Okay, well, that concludes requests. We'll now move on to the main agenda with the approval of minutes from the October 27th meeting. May I have a motion?
So moved.
A second.
Any comments or questions on the minutes? Okay, seeing none, Ms. Allen, please call the roll.
Ms. Bowman?
Aye.
Mr. Falegi?
Aye.
Ms. Ford?
Aye.
Mr. Jankowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Klotz?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Dr. Whitney?
Aye.
Dr. Levinson?
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Moving on to the district update, Dr. Campbell.
I apologize in advance. There's going to be some duplication of congratulations that that Maitri had also offered earlier. I just want to start off by offering a huge congratulations to our fall athletes, some of whom are still performing in their fall season. We're very excited for all of our teams, very proud of their accomplishments. I think very often we don't realize the level of commitment it takes to start off a new school year as a student athlete. So that fall season is kind of an interesting time for everyone, and our fall athletes really rose to the occasion. Congratulations to our cross-country team. Both boys and girls finished 15th as a team at the PIAA state meet. That's actually a tremendous accomplishment. Again, senior Maddie McCartney is the PIAA cross-country state champion. Incredibly proud of her, as well as the team of runners and coaches behind her who helped to build that success. The boys soccer team are EPC champs. They're District 11 runner-up. The District 11 runner-up. They advanced to round 2 of the state playoff game. On Saturday, they fought hard in overtime and lost to WC Henderson in penalty kicks. Our girls volleyball, also EPC champs, District 11 runner-up. They also played in the number 2 round of state championship this past weekend. Unfortunately, their journey came to an end in a really great game against Springford. And finally, field hockey, they are the EPC champs, District 11 champs, and they are still going strong. And so tomorrow they are going to advance to the state semifinals against Villa Maria. It's going to be a great competitive game tomorrow evening. I will also say we have a ton of confidence and we're very optimistic, so pay attention because when the Hornets emerge victorious, it's also going to be another milestone for Coach Sue Butz-Staven. So lots of great energy for the entire team tomorrow evening. We'd also like to congratulate the cast and crew for their performance of The Diary of Anne Frank. Our Emmaus High School Theater Department, including the student actors and actresses, the stage crew, the faculty, advisors, all contributed to really just a riveting performance. Hopefully, our board and or community enjoyed one of several performances that we offered throughout the end of last week. If you are looking for more theater in the upcoming days, this weekend, November 14th and 15th, Eyre Middle School will present Mascots and Friday Night Sprites at the Eyre Auditorium. As a reminder, the following week, November 20th, 21st, and 22nd, the LMMS Theater Department will be featuring Fractured. Also next week, coming up on Thursday, November 20th, LCTI, Lehigh Career and Technical Institute, is offering their annual open house. That's at LCTI at 6 p.m., November 20th. It really is a phenomenal opportunity for any student and family members to have a hands-on view of the great programs that are offered at LCTI. Also, November 20th, we are hosting our annual Thanksgiving luncheon for East Penn School District Golden Age card holders, bus drivers, and crossing guards. We have 3 locations in which we will be treating our guests to a Thanksgiving lunch at Eyre, LMMS, and here at Emmaus High School. We're also excited for some new clubs that are happening at Emmaus High School. The Clio Club and Buddy Up Club are working together, and they are hosting a Tech Connect event that is for East Penn senior citizens. And so on Wednesday, December 3rd, after school, Emmaus High School students are supporting senior citizens. They bring their own device, and our students will be available to help our senior citizens learn some new skills on their personal technology, whether it's sending photos, texts, using apps, or simply becoming familiar with whatever device they bring. So you could check out the high school website for more information. And we're also planning to distribute flyers at our Thanksgiving Day luncheon that's happening next week. So that event is coming up the first week in December. And finally, today was a really great day for us here in East Penn. We are incredibly excited to introduce to the board and to our community our new Director of Community Relations, Ms. Dane Buttafuoco. She actually started in the district today. She joins our East Penn team with a breadth of experience in broadcast journalism. Having graduated from Towson University with a degree in mass communications, She then went on for the past about 12 years to work as a TV news anchor, reporter, and producer in Texas, Indiana, and most recently, you will undoubtedly recognize her from WFMZ here in Allentown. We're very fortunate that Dane has chosen East Penn as her new professional home, and as is our tradition here in East Penn, we invite her to come up and meet each board member individually. So welcome, Dane.
Congratulations.
Glad to have you.
Congratulations. Welcome.
Congratulations, welcome.
Congratulations.
Okay, thank you again, and again, welcome aboard. Are there any comments or questions from the board for Dr. Campbell? Dr. Whitney?
Yeah, Ms. Klotz already went here, but I have to say and give a really special shout out to the cast and crew who are involved with Diary of Anne Frank performance at the high school. I mean, it's always a high bar for the work that the drama department does here, but this performance was particularly, I thought, just an incredible production of of obviously a sensitive topic, a difficult topic, a complicated story to tell, and you could just feel throughout the performance that the students involved and the the teachers who led them had just all really internalized that topic and were sharing it with us and really teaching us, the audience, about it. And it was just a really special performance, and so kudos to everyone involved.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Whitney. Other comments, questions? Ms. Bowman?
Oh, I just thought the Tech Connect idea is pretty genius. I think everybody needs a teenager in their tech life. You know, my son just taught me how to do something to organize the photos on my phone, and I didn't even know to think that this was something that I could do. Like, I wasn't even trying to do it, and it's like so cool. So, you know, I'm really happy that whoever came up with the idea to pair teens with older adults to help them with their technical questions, it's really awesome, and plus, like, just good for the community as well. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bowman. Other comments? Mr. Flaggy?
Yeah, as an outgoing member, I'm not going to be here at the next meeting, so I just want to, with tomorrow being Veterans Day, I would just like to thank all those veterans out there that served and to those that made the ultimate sacrifice. I know I'll be going to my sons at Jefferson Assembly at 9 o'clock, and then I might go over to Elma, Mass. to see theirs at 1. So just thank you to all the veterans.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Flaggy. Other comments, questions? So I'll echo several of the things that we just talked about. I also attended the performance on Friday night. Again, a very well-done production on a very difficult and moving subject, so I do commend the cast and crew on an excellent job on that. I'll also give praise to the first of hopefully many Tech Connect sections between our students and our senior citizens. Again, it's a great way for the students to interact with the community and to certainly leverage the great technical expertise that I'm sure our students can provide. Okay, if there's nothing further, we'll move on. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the personnel items. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions from the board? Okay, seeing none, Ms. Allen, please call the roll.
Mr. Falegi,
Aye.
Ms. Ford,
Aye.
Mr. Jankowski,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Klotz,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Dr. Whitney,
Aye.
Ms. Bowman,
Aye.
Dr. Levinson.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Okay, before moving on, I think Dr. Campbell has some words of recognition.
In the most recent personnel item, the board, thank you for approving, perhaps I should thank you or not thank you, but you approved the retirement of 3 individuals in the district who, again, really have been pivotal in the work that they do. Collectively, those 3 employees have 77 years of experience. And so that is what I meant in terms of we will certainly miss their work greatly in each of our respective buildings. The first was Robert Kish. His friends and colleagues call him Bobby Kish. He's a member of our maintenance department. Most recently, he's been a custodian at Willow Lane Elementary, previously worked at Wescosville, and began his career in East Penn at Shoemaker, where I will say I had the privilege of working with Bobby when I was a teacher at Shoemaker. He will retire after 27 years of experience as part of our maintenance team. Again, really cares greatly for our buildings. And cares even more deeply for the people who are in those buildings. So he's just been a great member of our team. In addition, Tracy Maley will be retiring at the end of this school year. She is an art teacher at Emmaus High School. At the time of retirement, she'll have 32 years here in East Penn. She served as a department chair, and again, has just been a tremendous leader within the department. And for those of you who perhaps have paid attention to some of the national recognition that our students have earned for their artwork, or have attended one of our art shows or special events, you can appreciate the quality of work that our students are producing under leadership such as Mrs. Maley. And finally, Steve Nykum will be retiring. He is a gifted teacher, a teacher of the gifted. He's been with us for 18 years. He'll retire at the end of this year, and he has serviced students in the gifted program at various elementaries, including Albertus, Shoemaker, and now he's at Jefferson and Wescosville. So we will certainly miss his creativity, his flexibility, and wish them all 3 well in their retirement. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Campbell. Certainly wish our retirees well and thank them for their many years of great service to the district. Okay, moving on to business operations. If there are no objections, I'd like to take items A, B, and C together. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, Ms. Allen, please call the roll.
Ms. Ford?
Aye.
Mr. Jankowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Klotz?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Dr. Whitney?
Aye.
Ms. Bowman?
Aye.
Mr. Falegi?
Aye.
Dr. Levinson?
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. On to curriculum, I'm going to take this in 2 pieces. I'd like to get a motion to approve item A, educational conferences.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, Ms. Allen, please call the roll.
Mr. Jankowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Klotz?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Dr. Whitney?
Aye.
Ms. Bowman?
Aye.
Mr. Falegi?
Aye.
Ms. Ford?
Aye.
Dr. Levinson?
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. I'd like to take, if there are no objections, I'd like to take items B, C, D, and E together. May I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any comments or questions from the board? Bowman?
Just a quick comment, and of course, I don't remember the exact name of the course, but I should have mentioned this last time. I really thought the change in the family consumer science classes to teach students skills rather than recipes is definitely a move in the right direction and sets kids up for success so that they actually know how to cook. And I think East Penn's family consumer science classes in general do better, at least than when I was a kid and we were learning how to make teddy bear bread and sift flour and a whole bunch of other things that I've never done as an adult. But I do think, like, mostly we're setting kids up for success. But that idea of teaching actual cooking techniques, searing, grilling, roasting, frying, all of that, is something that could be pulled through the whole program so that kids aren't so reliant on recipes and just can wing it, whether it's a chicken breast or a piece of fish or whatever. So they're more likely to actually cook their own food when they graduate. So that's it. I just thought it's a really good change. I'd love to see more of it.
Okay, thank you for those comments. Any other comments? Again, just in general, I think the new course additions and reworks, I think, are great changes to an already stellar curriculum that we offer at the high school. No further comments or questions. Ms. Allen, please call the roll.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Klotz,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Dr. Whitney,
Aye.
Ms. Bowman,
Aye.
Mr. Falegi,
Aye.
Ms. Ford,
Aye.
Mr. Jankowski,
Aye.
Dr. Levinson.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Okay, we've come to that point in the board calendar. One of those bittersweet moments where we're going to say goodbye to some very valued members of our team. The way that I'd like to structure this is I'd first like to have each outgoing board member, if they so choose, provide some closing thoughts or comments and to reflect on their service. After which, I'm going to turn things over to administration as they have some probably some positive things to say about the three of you. And then when that concludes, I'll allow board members to make some brief comments. Not too long, because I know some of you want to go watch the Eagles game. Okay, so for lack of any other way to do it, let's go in alphabetical order by last name. Ms. Bowen, would you like to speak?
Yes, okay. Thank you. I actually practiced this so that I knew if I spoke for a half hour, I would leave you all mad at me, and that's not how I want to go out. So, it's our job as board members to ask critical questions and to continually look for areas of improvement. And because of that, for our administrators, you probably often felt as if your best was never good enough with people like us around anyway. So I'd like to take this time to do the opposite and thank a few folks and sing some of your praises. So starting with Dr. Campbell, I was on the board when you were hired, and I was on the team of people who interviewed all the potential candidates, including you. And I'd love to say that it was a tough decision, but it wasn't. As soon as you were interviewed, I knew you were going to be the one, and I knew I was going to fight all the other board members until they agreed with me. You came up through the district, you had kids in the district, you lived in the district, but more importantly than any of that, you listened and you were collaborative in a way that I think is incredibly unusual for a person in a leadership position. And in the many years since that you've been superintendent, I've never once regretted that decision. I know there have been times that the two of us and the board in general hasn't agreed with certain things, and some of my questions and some of my opinions probably made your life difficult at times. But I do want to say that this district is incredibly fortunate to have you at the helm. And at some point when you retire, it's going to be an incredible loss to East Penn, and it's going to be hard for the next board to find someone to fill your shoes. So thank you. Mr. Saul, to put it bluntly, we'd be lost without you. I'll just say maybe one memory is going into the pandemic, kind of knowing that we were headed towards potential financial disaster. And you steered us through and had us come out the other side in really good financial position in a way that was kind of rare at the time. I remember reading about other districts that were not as fortunate as us. Business managers kind of stay behind the scenes, and not a lot of people put the spotlight on you, but you're another person where I don't know, it'll be hard for a future board to replace you at some point when you decide to go. So again, East Penn is incredibly fortunate to have you. Laura Whitman, I think you're a little underappreciated in the fact that you're a true visionary. I remember you up here kind of early on as in my term as a board member, where you were fighting for this thing that was eventually called the Jasper program. And at the time you first pitched it, I don't think you had the votes for it to pass, and you would not give up. And it was so apparent to me how much you believed in it and how much you were not going to let it drop. And somehow between that first meeting of you fighting for it and then the last meeting when we voted on it, you managed to change all the naysayers into, I believe you got a unanimous yes from the board, if memory is correct. And now the Jasper program is this thing that people take for granted. I don't think people question that if you hadn't have been here, I'm not sure it would have ever came into fruition. And I don't know how many students have gone through that, but they've all been thankful. I've seen the parents just so thankful that there's an alternative for their child at the high school. I could list other things, but that's the one that comes to mind. And probably every time you come up to that podium and you pitch an idea, it's always something with a big vision, so thank you. Dr. Povolitis, the thing that comes to mind with you is unflappable. Soon after you started, you had to pitch the calendar to us, and it was during a time when we wanted to get rid of all of these half-days and early dismissals. And the calendar, as I have come to learn, is a very complicated endeavor. And you must have been thinking to yourself, what is wrong with these people? But you never showed it on your face. And that has been the case every time, whether it's policy or something else. It didn't matter how, stubborn we were being or how many questions we were asking. You always dealt with it with grace. And then Janine Allen, you've always been a joy. You always have a smile on your face. I could walk in here in a bad mood, and if I see you, I'll be in a good one. You're just so nice to be around, and I am going to miss your candy bowl. I can't thank every member of the central administration because it would turn an otherwise short meeting into a long one. So for the rest of you, I just want to thank you for working tirelessly to continually make East Penn even better than it is. And to my sitting board members, we haven't always agreed, but we've always found a way to debate hot topics with civility and respect, and I hope that trend continues. I do have a couple pieces of advice to the incoming board members. If you're anything like me, your first few meetings are going to be anxiety-producing. It's also going to be budget season, and even if you've dealt with big budgets before, this budget for a large public school district is really confusing and intimidating. So I just want you to know that Mr. Saul is your friend. There's no question you can ask that he hasn't been asked before, probably many times by many different board members over the years, and he never acts like he's explained it before. It's always like, oh, I'll explain the fund balance again. It's always like he's talking about it for the first time, and it doesn't matter how complicated the topic. Second, also, if you're anything like me, you're going to come in with some big ideas, big things that you want to change right away. You want to put them into effect. You want to fix the district. And you're going to almost immediately feel frustrated by how glacial change is in a big school district. So be patient, be persistent, and just be open-minded to learn from all the expertise around you. And finally, one favor I'd like to ask the future board, speaking of the glacial pace of change, probably almost 8 years ago, I floated the idea of changing the start time at the high school so it would be later. And I think there was some support on the board, and we may have even done a focus group or two. And then it sort of got on the back burner and other initiatives took priority. And I hope that the future board will take that off the back burner and give that idea some more thought, because it's a way to solve quite a few problems for a pretty low price tag. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bowman. Mr. Falegi.
Thank you, Dr. Levinson. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because the Eagles game's coming up. First, I would like to thank the voters who elected me to this position 4 years ago, and for those who voted me for this year. It was an honor and privilege to serve for you. I would like to thank my friends and my family, especially my wife and kids, who were my inspiration to run for this position 4 years ago and to run for re-election. To say I'm disappointed that my re-election campaign did not come to fruition is an understatement, as I'm actually rather upset that I got caught up in a blue wave which occurred based on the hate of the current president, which swayed local non-political position. This coming from a party of no hate is shameful, and having to attack others through a PAC was an outright pathetic attempt to promote fear. I was on vacation with my family when I saw a mailer from the Defend East Penn PAC slandering my name, calling me a maggoteer and an extremist. For this, they should be ashamed. I would like you to tell me one thing I have done in the past 4 years that as a director that was extreme. I guarantee you that you will not find one thing, as I always voted for what I believe was in the best interest of our students, parents, teachers, and taxpayers. With that being said, it was an honor to serve next to all my colleagues on this board and Dr. Campbell as our team of 10. We as a team always had robust conversations to do what was in the best interest of our students first and foremost. I wish nothing but the best to Ms. Bowman and Mr. Smith in their future endeavors and thank them for their service, as I know it can be a thankless, payless position. I want to congratulate the newly elected directors, Ms. Stiovelli, Ms. Perez, and Ms. Price, as well as the incumbent-elect Dr. Whitney, as I wish you the best and believe you always do what is in the best interest of the students first. Lastly, as I leave here tonight for my final time as a director, I'm proud of what we as a board and district have accomplished over the past 4 years and continue to keep us East Penn proud. Best of luck to you all, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak, and go Birds.
Thank you, Mr. Falegi. Mr. Smith.
All right. Before I jump into my comments, I've had a couple of conversations over the past couple of weeks. I don't know when we had our last conversation. Ms. Allen is very nervous, very concerned. Whoever's for the folks coming in, I just want you to know this is the choicest seat on the entire dais. At least if it's judged by the volume of comments from Mrs. Allen. So I just want to let you know that you got two sight lines going here, left and right. It's a fantastic way to interact with both sides. And there is you don't know this when you're sitting out there because you can't see over the side. We have a fantastic business director who is able to use both sides of his brain, not just one side for the numbers, but he's also a fantastic doodler in the margins with a red pen. You don't know that sitting out there. And also, I've been up here for 8 years, and I still don't have the single slightest idea what the heck you're writing on your notes. Like, I don't know what shorthand is. I don't know what that even means. Maybe whoever ends up sitting here can figure that out. So I guess it is a secret. So that is the great mystery that I have not been able to solve yet. So when I first considered running for school board 8 years ago, I wasn't sure if I could do it. I imagine many people who choose to run for a public office start from that same place wondering, could I really do this? At the time, I was a teacher and a dad of 2 young boys. I looked at the board then and saw a group of people who didn't represent families that looked like mine. And I worried that decisions were being made by people who hadn't spent time in a classroom. Back then, it seemed impossible that a teacher could ever have a seat at this table. But what truly pushed me to run back then wasn't ambition, it was conviction. I saw a growing national movement that questioned the very value of public education, and I felt a responsibility as both a father and as a teacher to stand up for it. I wanted to make sure that our schools would always be places where kids could think freely, grow confidently, and be supported by educators who are trusted and respected. That calling is what led me here 8 years ago, and it's still what I believe in today. Today, I'm proud to say that this board, like the ones before it and the ones yet to come, represents a range of voices: young families and empty nesters, lifelong residents and new arrivals, families of every shape, background, and story. That diversity isn't just something to admire, it's the foundation of our strength as a community. When we make decisions, we do so through a collective lens that reflects the students, parents, and staff from every corner of this district. Of course, it hasn't always been easy. Public service never is. During the pandemic, when every decision seemed impossible, a friend and colleague here in the district reminded me of Teddy Roosevelt's words about the man in the arena. He wrote, "It is not the critic who counts, not the person who points out how the strong person stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the person who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends themselves in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if they fail, at least fail while daring greatly, so that their place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." With respect to President Roosevelt, I've always believed that this board is full of people of quiet courage, those who step into the arena not with armor or weapons, but with open hearts and steady hands, willing to make hard choices for the right reasons. When the world outside grew loud and angry, this board kept showing up. We made the best decisions we could for kids, sometimes imperfect, sometimes unpopular, but always honest. Over the time, though, I've seen something change. Fewer people come to meetings. Fewer emails come in. Too many conversations that should happen face-to-face are now happening behind a keyboard. I hope that changes. Our schools deserve a community that shows up, not just online, but in person. We need more voices in this arena, not fewer. I want to thank the new board members who will soon take their seats. You're stepping into a tradition of service that matters deeply. Your job is not to be the loudest. It's to listen the hardest. I also want to thank Dr. Campbell and her team of amazingly committed educators, especially the teachers who have made such an impact on my sons. Mr. Abruzzi, Mr. Foster, Mrs. Durrigan, Mrs. Gillen, Mr. Morrow, Mr. Campbell, Mrs. Kramer, Mr. Luckenbill, Mr. Ohl, Mr. Braglio, Mrs. Kinzel, Coach O, and of course, the inimitable Mrs. Dweck. You've each been part of many a dinner conversation and have each shaped Brandon and Carter's childhoods in ways I will never be able to repay. And to my wife, Christy, thank you for the countless nights you've spent without me at the dinner table so I could serve this great district. Your patience and support have made this possible. And if you ever want to give the school director thing a try someday, I'll gladly return the favor. These past 8 years have been some of the most meaningful of my life. I've learned, I've grown, and I've never stopped believing in the power of public education. Thank you for the honor of serving this community. It has been a privilege to sit in this seat and to stand in this arena. Go Hornets.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Appreciate all the comments from our departing members. And I'll turn things over to Dr. Campbell, whom I believe, again, has some probably kind words about you all.
I will first say that on behalf of a team, a school community, we're incredibly gracious. We feel incredibly gracious for the just thoughtful remarks that you made at your last board meeting. And of course, in many ways, not at all surprised, just because it's individuals such as you that make overall our team of 10 so highly functional. I wanted to start off this evening by just reminding the community about the amazing work that school boards across the Commonwealth do. Our board members spend many, many hours devoting to the complex responsibility of conducting board business, which is what our meeting is here, including adopting new curricula and programs, adopting policy, voting on budgets, evaluating processes and procedures related to student safety and school security issues, as well as hiring decisions. As locally elected officials, our board members and directors are deeply connected to our school communities. And the 3 board members who are departing have worked tirelessly, not only in the public meetings that we see here, but by devoting countless hours behind the scenes to research, to understand, to ask questions, so that they can come to board meetings and take action and make decisions on incredibly important decisions that impact our school district, our students, and our staff. So I wanted to just spend a brief amount of time recognizing what I perceive to be the really unique contributions of each of our 3 board members who will be departing. And what I would say, you know, the pieces that I chose to highlight about each of you, I really see as the legacy that you leave. So I'll start first with Mike Falegi. He began his 4-year term on the board in 2021, and in a short amount of time, my team and I absolutely agree that Mike instantly grew into an excellent board member. It took him almost no time at all to join the board, and he's a quiet listener at first, but he's absolutely like a sponge taking it all in. And if you recall, in 2021, he came onto the board at a somewhat tumultuous time in public education. It was months after we had just returned to in-person instruction, and I'm going to use the words of asynchronous and hybrid learning, which are a little bit taboo words for some of us. But Mike came on board and he listens to constituents. He has consistently treated others with respect and dignity, and he leads with a real sense of calmness. He leaned in very early to understand programs here in the district, and he's been an avid supporter of instructional programs and personnel, specifically our MTSS process and the interventionists. And I recall when we had a budget presentation and we had a team that was here to talk about the interventionists and the positive impact that they had on our students. It was at that point that Mike had, again, both as a board member and as a parent, some really personal connections that he was able to share that I think were really powerful in terms of bringing a program and the ways in which personnel were helping students to life for everyone. In addition, Mike has served as a board representative for our contract negotiations, and he's also served as a board representative for LCTI. And so Mike, in a very short amount of time, although 4 years has flown by, in a short amount of time, you have just made an incredible mark on our district. And really, like, we can say this very sincerely, like, our classrooms are better because of your leadership. So thank you. And I will say, I'll come and do a small gift for each of you, but perhaps I'll go through each of the board members first. Elisa Bowman has served 2 4-year terms on the East Penn School Board and began with us in 2017. Throughout her tenure, Elisa has consistently advocated for creating a supportive and an inclusive school community that embraces all learners. She is, Dr. Munson, when he spoke earlier, while he was speaking, I literally turned to my prepared comments because he used some of the same key phrases that I perceive and know about Elisa. She is passionate about amplifying the voices of all students, particularly those who may not have always been heard or those who might not advocate for themselves. And so I can say that about both students as well as parents in our community. She served on our district's comprehensive planning committee, has been really a key mover behind some of our equity work within the East Penn School District. And she has also done great work as a representative as part of our contract negotiations. And so I do think for our new board members who are coming in, as they think about board members who are leaving and where there might be holes, certainly I think to take Elisa's lead in terms of continuing to be sure that we are always including that student voice, not always the loudest voices, but making sure that we are always hearing all students throughout our district. And finally, Adam Smith, like Elisa, has served 2 4-year terms on the board beginning in 2017. You heard him in his comments. As an educator himself, his expertise and his passion for teaching and learning literally permeates and oozes from him as he's asking questions and providing input on key decisions in the district. Upon joining the board in 2017, I think it may have been Adam's first meeting, he reintroduced the topic of full-day kindergarten, which originally had been voted no, and when reintroduced, following further board discussion and investigation, the board at the new board then went on to approve, and I believe months later in the 2018-19 school year, we implemented full-day kindergarten here in East Penn, which has been a tremendous benefit for our youngest learners in the district. Adam has also played a critical role in our ongoing facilities planning in East Penn, again, always challenging us as a district to vision for improving educational programs, not just looking narrowly at changing physical structures. And Adam has also served as a very critical board representative for LCTI and contract negotiations. So on behalf of myself, our district administration, the staff and students, I want to just take this moment to express our gratitude for Elisa, Adam, and Mike for your dedication, your time and effort, and most importantly, what I would say is just really putting your heart and soul into your role here as a board member. And again, assure you that you have all left a legacy. Those things that I just mentioned are programs, processes that we have put in place as a result of your great leadership and work here on the district. So congratulations. You will be missed. I also would like to extend a heartfelt congratulations to Dr. Whitney, who will continue on the board. And of course, at our December meeting, we look forward to meeting and greeting our new board members as well. But congratulations to the three of you, and thank you.
Let the kids open it up.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dr. Campbell, for beautifully summarizing the experience that our three outgoing board members have contributed to this wonderful journey. I'd now like to open the floor for the rest of the board to make some brief comments if they choose. Dr. Whitney?
Thank you, and I will be brief. Although I don't feel this sense of urgency when the Patriots are playing. Here we go. No, so echoing everything, there's a lot of it's been said, and I would echo all of it, and just sincere thanks to the three of you for your service. And Elisa and Adam particularly, when I ran with you 4 years ago, stepping into this, everyone thinks they sort of have an idea of what they are getting into when they decide to run for an office or be on a school board. But the two of you, just in conversations and just hearing your experiences, I instantly learned so much, and there hasn't been a meeting since when I haven't learned even more from watching the two of you and the way that you take these roles so deeply seriously and ask all the right questions, and you provide a real standard for myself and the other board members to live up to. So thank you for that. And knowing what you had been through with the pandemic during that 2021 election, I don't know why you didn't say just to run screaming the other way, but you didn't. You were so supportive and you were so helpful and just open with your experience and what it was like to be on the board. And Mike, it's been a great journey with you for 4 years, and I just really, I'm everything about how you listen, how you the values that you bring to this board, and the way that you are consistently representing the community and the students is just so admirable to me. You're not always the first to make speeches, but when you do, it's very powerful, and you can tell it comes from a completely genuine place, and I just really admire that. And you've been an amazing colleague as well, so thank you for that. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Dr. Whitney. Anybody else? Mr. Jankowski.
So I've had the privilege to serve with, and as with the others, I'll break protocol and use first names because you guys are truly friends, not just fellow board members. So it has been an absolute pleasure serving with Elisa, Mike, and Adam. You guys each bring a different perspective, and what's great is each perspective's thoughtful and sincere and thought-provoking. Your collegiality, your respectfulness, I think as Elisa said, I think we're very lucky in that we were able to have debates and disagreements, but they never got to a point of animosity or spirited. They were all very good debates. I found myself with changing opinions sometimes not, but it truly has been an honor and a pleasure, and you are leaving huge seats to fill. So I'm sorry to see the three of you go. I mean, I fully expect you guys to be watching every other Monday and commenting, but thank you all for your service. It's truly been an honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jankowski. Anybody else? Ms. Ford?
Just echoing what everyone has said, huge thank you to all three. To Ms. Bowman, thank you for always taking my questions and sharing all of your knowledge so freely, and not looking at me odd when I had weird questions. I really appreciate the knowledge, and I've learned a great deal from just listening to you, and I'll definitely take all I've learned and use it and continue to use it. And to Adam, Mr. Smith, thank you. One of the first people I had the pleasure of meeting. Always insightful, always well thought out, and I will miss your updates about about the updates you do, because they're always, at least I find, interesting the way you present the information. And Mike, this is my neighbor over here, who's always been very welcoming. He always asks me how I'm doing, and he asks about my family, which is always heartwarming to me. And so I will miss you sitting next to me and sharing your charger. And so I just appreciate, I will miss that. Thank you. All three of you have been really inspirational. So thank you.
Ms. Klotz?
So, first with Elisa, when I was trying to decide if I was going to run for school board, and I started attending the meetings and really, how to put it, really got to see the interaction between the board members and who started asking what questions and, what to expect from each member. First when I saw Elisa and heard her questions, sometimes you come across Elisa as very quiet and maybe unassuming, but then you're kind of like a stealth bomber, honestly, because you have this manner about you that is quiet, however, extremely powerful. The questions that you ask are challenging and insightful and very pointed. So I think that was a good example for me. So thank you. You have been a great example to me of how to carry myself on the board and how to address people, and really different ways of thinking about things. And also, I would like to point out that when I was running for the board, you were the only woman on the board. Then it came to three, after Shanta and I were elected, and now there'll be 5 women on the board. That's amazing and quite a legacy that you were leaving. So thank you. Adam, my goodness, the background and the knowledge that you give based off of being an educator, and you always like to make sure that we do have the history and we have your thinking, and so we know exactly where you're coming from with your point of view, and it has been appreciated. I have learned a great deal from you, and thank you so much. You were also one of the first people that I met when I was running, and I've always appreciated what you have to say, so thank you. And Mike, Mike is also my neighbor, Sean. So let's just be clear. First off, yes, I have absolutely appreciated sitting next to you and bouncing ideas off of you. I also really appreciate that you're a smoker. And I miss that myself. So I love sitting next to you, even just for that. But you have come at things from a thoughtful perspective, and you know where you stand on, the budget issues, the tax issues, and I've been pleasantly surprised that we have a lot of the same opinions. So I'm going to miss you very much.
Thanks.
So, and thank you all. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Klotz. Any other? Okay, well then, I'll close. A lot of wonderful things have been said, a lot of things that I would say myself, so I'll just be brief. Like Mr. Jankowski, you're not just colleagues. I think you're true friends, and look forward to our future interactions. I can say that I've learned something, or many things, from each of you, so I've appreciated the interactions and the significant, insightful and thought-provoking dialogue that came from these meetings, and then also on the less formal conversations that happen when we're outside of these meetings. Special thanks to Adam as our board vice president for these last 2 years. He's been a great sounding board and resource to me, a bit of a whisperer of sorts when I have concerns. And certainly, your service to LCTI is also noted. I think it's been a great 8 years that you've been on that board, and I'm interested in where you're going to put your official lamp gift that they were going to provide you to recognize your service. So I did want to make note that for the three of you, your colleagues have all pitched in for a token gift, or not so token gift, actually, to recognize your service and our appreciation for the collegiality that we've had for your time on the board. It's in process and should be shipped soon. It will be delivered by a handsome and personable person that might look a lot like me, but we'll have to see.
Is Aiden home?
No, that's a good suggestion. With that, certainly I wish you all the best, and I can honestly say that the district is better off now than when you started. So, okay. With that, we'll move to announcements. The board did meet in executive session this evening to talk about topics related to personnel. The district will be closed for the Thanksgiving holiday from Thursday, November 27th through Monday, December 1st. Our next meeting will be the organization meeting, which will be held on Tuesday, December 2nd at 7:30 in this room. Last announcement is our next regular board meeting will be on Monday, December 8th at 7:30, also in this room. With no further business for this evening, I'd now like to get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Take care and have a great Thanksgiving holiday.